To you, your dog is more than just a pet. They're family. A furry best friend, a snuggly tail wagging part of your daily life, and you can't imagine life without them. But if your dog ever bites someone, your insurance company might not see things the same way. Homeowners and renters insurance policies can help cover things like medical expenses or legal costs after a dog bite, but only if your dog is covered in the first place. Some policies exclude certain breeds exclusively, even if your dog has never shown aggression. That means if the worst happens, you can be left holding the bag legally and financially. That's why it's critical to stick around to the end of this video because we're breaking down exactly which breeds might be excluded, how to find out what your policy says, and most importantly, how to protect your family, your furry loved one, and your bank account. So, in short, don't wait until there's a bite and a denial letter. Be proactive, be prepared. Let's go. Hey, claims warriors, it's your trusted sensei back with another dose of insider information to help you navigate the often treacherous terrain of insurance. Now, I have 30 years in this game, and if it's taught me one thing, knowledge is your ultimate weapon. And today, we're arming you against a surprisingly common and costly blind spot: dog bites. Now, don't be like most people and shrug this off and think it's rare and it could never happen to you, because roughly 4.5 million people a year are bitten by dogs in the United States alone. And that's a staggering number. And the financial fallout? Well, the insurance industry shells out hundreds of millions of dollars annually on dog bite claims. And we're talking serious money. Now, imagine you're on the receiving end of that bite if you don't have adequate insurance coverage, or if your claim gets denied. You could be looking at tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical bills, lost wages, potential legal fees, all out of your own pocket. And that, my friend, is a financial knockout punch that nobody can afford to take. Now, here's a critical ninja tip. Dog bite claims, guys, they vary widely from state to state, just meaning that each state could have some different laws in place for dog bites. Now, what's covered in Florida might be completely different in California or New York. Now, some states have what they call strict liability laws, meaning that the owner is almost always responsible, while other states follow a one bite rule or a negligence standards rule. So this free intel, guys, that I'm dropping, it's pure gold, because understanding your state's specific regulations can be the difference between financial security and devastation. Now, let's talk about a major insurance policy blind spot. And I've seen this thousands of times: breed exclusions. Many insurance companies have specific lists of dog breeds that they deem high risk and will either refuse to cover them entirely or charge significantly higher premiums. Breeds like pit bulls, Rottweilers, German Shepherds, Doberman Pinschers, and more are often on this list. Ignoring these, well, that's like walking into a trap. If your beloved furry friend is on that exclusion list and bites someone, you could be left holding the entire financial bag, getting your homeowners or renters insurance canceled, and even worse, facing criminal charges. And beyond just breed exclusions, remember that each insurance policy can have slightly different conditions regarding dog bite liability claims. Now, this can include coverage limits. So you have to understand the maximum amount that your policy will pay out for a dog bite claims. Is it 50,000, 100,000, 300,000? This can make a huge difference in a serious incident. Then there's what they call a one bite rule consideration, meaning your policy might have specific conditions if your dog was to bite someone. And then there's what they call the negligence clauses. Your policy will likely have clauses related to your responsibility as a dog owner. Negligence in controlling your animal could lead to a denied claim, even if your breed isn't excluded. Now, ignoring these details, guys, is like walking through a minefield blindfolded. So don't do it. This free information is designed to empower you to have those critical conversations with your insurance provider. The bottom line on breed exclusions and policy conditions is this: be proactive, be informed, and be specific to your own policy. Don't rely on general information. Take the time to understand your coverage, ask the right questions, and ensure you're not leaving yourself vulnerable. Of course, insurance policies are written by attorneys and often extremely difficult to understand, sometimes ambiguous. But claims warriors, fear not. I am here to break it all down for you. You know, the ins and outs of what the policies mean or don't mean has a lot to do with what they say. And then you have to go to where there are your exclusion section of your policy or the endorsement section of your policy. And that's another video altogether that tells you either you added some coverage that wasn't included in your standard policy, or to save money or because of policies the insurance company excluded certain coverages. So don't just skim through your paperwork. Understand your liability coverage limits and if there are any breed exclusions. Now, when in doubt, call your insurance agent and ask the tough questions. So here are some non-negotiables, guys. Be a responsible pet owner. That's key. This is where you prevent problems before they happen. Proper training, socialization, meaning keeping your dog leashed in public areas at all times. And err on the side of caution. This is huge. And listen closely, guys. Most dog bites happen to people the dog knows, like neighbors, friends, and even family members. That playful nip can turn into a serious injury in a split second. When in doubt, put the animal away, temporarily at least. If you're having guests over, especially children or unfamiliar faces, secure your dog in a separate room. You know, it's not being rude, it's responsible and it protects everyone, including your bank account. Secure your property. Make sure your fences are secure and in good condition to avoid any accidental escapes by your dog. And be aware of your dog's triggers. Understand what makes your dog anxious or reactive and avoid those situations. And this is big, guys. The consequences of your dog biting someone don't always stop at financial. Depending on your state and the severity of the bite and the circumstances of the incident, you could face citations, fines, or even arrest for negligence. And furthermore, Animal control could quarantine your dog, and in the worst case scenario, depending on your local laws, they could euthanize your beloved animal. That's a possibility as well. So, knowledge isn't just about money, it's about protecting yourself, your loved ones, and your furry family member. Now, let's talk briefly about what happens if your claim is denied. So, your dog bites someone and you submit a claim to your insurance company and you receive a denial letter. Now, most of the time, those denial letters, they'll stick. But there are scenarios when insurance companies are wrong. And the reasons why should be cited in that denial, which means that you now have to go to your policy to ensure that the insurance company is in compliance with their own laws, right? And regulations. And then if there is something that they miss, you must contact your insurance carrier. Now, that's another video altogether because it's pretty intricate, and we'll do that on another video. So stay tuned. But you need to understand that just because the insurance carrier denied your claim doesn't mean that you cannot appeal or challenge that denial. But most of the time, I'll say about 80% of the time, the insurance carrier is spot on with their denials. And breed exclusions, as we discussed, is the number one reasons why your dog bite claim will be denied, because your dog is simply on the excluded list of breeds. And guys, do not hide your dog's breed from your insurance carrier, because if something happens and your dog injures someone, right, then your policy will be canceled, most likely, for what they call material misrepresentation, simply meaning you just did not disclose the information, did not answer the questions honestly, and then possibly, like we said earlier, you're on the hook for all the medical bills, permanent injuries for that person, pain and suffering. People claim all types of injuries. So then there's the lack of coverage, period, meaning that your policy simply don't cover dog bites. Okay. Also, intentional acts are excluded as well. Now, this is kind of rare, but intentional act exclusions are for people that will intentionally have their animal to attack someone. It's not very common, but it does happen. Okay. And then there's off premises incidents. This is very important, guys. Some policies have limitations on incidents that occur away from your property. Okay. So if your animal's at the dog park or visiting a friend, some policies don't have coverage for that because it's outside the limitations of your property. Then there's the lack of negligence, guys. This is important. The insurance company might argue that you, the dog owner, you weren't negligent in controlling your dog, and therefore they aren't liable for the injury and there's no payout. So, in other words, if your dog did not do anything wrong, someone came onto your property illegally, trespassed, or, attacked your family or tried to attack your dog, the insurance company might find that you or your dog did nothing wrong, and that could be a reason for the denial as well. Then there's pre-existing conditions. It's kind of sort of rare where the insurance company might say this dog bite didn't cause any injuries to this person, and if it did, it was pre-existing. Those are kind of rare in dog bite claims, but it's possible. And here's another one that's super important. Failure to report promptly is extremely important, guys. It's a condition of your policy. Delaying the reporting of the incident can sometimes lead to a denial, as it can hinder the insurance company's investigation, because time is money, guys. They have to get on this and begin their investigation as soon as reasonably possible. So remember, as soon as any incident, God forbid, happens with your dog, report it promptly to your insurance company. Most policies says about 48 hours. Okay. And then dispute over facts. That means that the insurance company could deny your claim because they're disputing the severity of the injury, the circumstances of the bites, or simply who was at fault. Now, keep in mind that you have to read the denials carefully. Understand the exact reasons the insurance company provided for the denial. Don't just skim over it. Every word can be important. Gather all your documentation. This includes your insurance policy, photos of the injury, witness statements, police reports, animal control reports, medical bills, if they have submitted those to you, and any other relevant information, and review your policy. Now is the time, today is the time to become intimately familiar with your policy language, especially the liability section and any exclusions, guys. Does the reason for the denial align itself with the policy terms? And then consider appealing. If you were to receive a denial letter, consider appealing it, because most insurance companies have an internal appeals process. The denial letter should outline how to file an appeal and the deadline for doing so. So, in your appeal, address each point of the denial with factual evidence and references to your policy language. Communicate it in writing, guys. Don't just call up the insurance adjuster and think that's going to suffice. If it's not in writing, you can't prove that it happened. So yes, call them by, all means, call them and have that verbal conversation telephonically. But you also want to keep all communications with the insurance carrier in writing, emails or certified mail. This creates a clear record of your interactions. And don't be afraid to ask questions. If anything in the denial letter or your policy is unclear, don't hesitate to contact the insurance adjuster for clarification, but remember, do so in writing. Know your state regulations. As we've discussed, insurance laws vary by state. Research your state's regulations regarding dog bite liability and claim denials. Your state's Department of Insurance is your most valuable resource. And lastly, consider legal counsel. If your claim involves significant injuries to a person, a complex situation, or if your appeal is denied, then it's time to consult with an attorney specializing in personal injury or insurance law. They can assess the merits of your case and advise you on your legal options. Now, it's slightly different if you actually have coverage for this said dog bite, because the legal counsel will typically come with your coverage. It's a part of what comes with your policy. But if you don't have coverage, or your claim has been denied, or you simply don't agree with the direction that the insurance company's attorney is taking the case, then you may have to hire your own legal counsel. So remember, guys, I'm your virtual claims consultant, not an attorney. So for legal advice, seek a qualified attorney. But this 30 years of insurance experience in claims, litigation, trials has taught me something. This information is something insurance companies don't shout from the rooftops. That's why you need the Claims Ninja in your corner, exposing these blind spots and making the complex very clear. So if you have friends, family, loved ones, share the video with them, and don't forget to subscribe, because this information could be the difference between you avoiding a tragedy and, having your finances turned upside down. And before you leave and before we close, here's some very important information to take away. Let's do a final recap. What every dog owner must know. Number one, dog bites are more common than you might think. Over 4.5 million people are bitten by dogs annually in the U.S. alone. More than half of those incidents involve dogs familiar to the victim. Number two, financial implications are significant. The average dog bite claim costs somewhere between, let's just say, $50 to sometimes even $100,000 or more. Without proper insurance, these costs can come directly out of your pocket. Number three, insurance coverage varies. Many homeowners policies exclude certain breeds of dogs and those dogs with a history of aggression. Failing to disclose your dog to your insurance company, guys, can lead to denied claims. And number four, legal consequences can be severe depending on your state. A dog bite can result in citations, fines, or even criminal charges. In some cases, your dog may be quarantined or even worse. And number five, prevention is key. Always secure your dog when guests, especially children, are present. Most bites occur with dogs the victim knows, and proper training and socialization can prevent many incidents. And remember, claims warriors, in the world of insurance, being informed is being empowered. So stay vigilant, stay protected, and I will see you on the next video with more insider secrets.